Hello, trading has closed on October 20th, 2025. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer. We'll go over our calls and then make our predictions. It's my trading plan for Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. Right now, it's just a plan. I can always change it. I can be wrong. Trade at your own risk. Futures haven't opened yet, so who knows where they'll open. Just remember, it's just a plan at this point and trade at your own risk. Before I go over my calls, I want to go over Norm Winski's stuff. I still can't get a good sound quality when I get him to do his own stuff, so I'm going to have to pinch hit. These were the change in trend dates he gave 2 weeks ago. And as you'll see, once again, he's had a very successful 2 weeks. We're then going to go over the change in trend dates he has coming up, along with a free offer. Well, let's run down the list. Green is a winner, red's a loser. So far, we're breaking even. Wheat was a loser, but cocoa was a winner. Hogs another winner. Coffee, the yellow, means no trade. Silver, that one missed. But gold was a huge winner. Crude oil was a big winner. The S&P was a big winner. And as far as financial stuff, here we have T-bonds, dollar index, all these things, Aussie dollar, British pound. It's one winner after the other. Canadian dollar, euro, the yen, Swiss franc. So we had 30 winners and 6 misses, so 83.3% winners. In an asset class where 95% of people lose money. This was his forecast for the month of October. You can't do too much better than that. This is the gold chart. He's been positive on gold. He now thinks we're in a blow-off phase. That doesn't tell us where it ends, but it usually doesn't end well. So far, though, he's been on the right side of the trade. Now, here's what he sees coming up. After the close today, the 20th, and after the close tomorrow, the 21st, and that these dates you should remember because some other people's stuff has things happening within this range, too. He has changes in financials, precious metals, stocks, all kinds of stuff. You can read it yourself, but right in this area, with a leeway of a day or so, he has some significant change in trends coming up. He's been doing this for over 50 years. And the first 5 people who contact him by the 23rd of October get a free one-on-one class. He'll tell you how he does things. There's no mystery. His techniques aren't that hard. He says they're simple. A 5th grader is able to do it. He'll tell you how to do it free. So if you want to learn from a real pro who's had a great track record forever, here's your chance. Well, how about me? We had today as the pattern with the early high, and this was it. And tomorrow's pattern should have the early low. We said unless we gapped up smartly, we had a lower target, 6640.01. We gapped up smartly, the call's killed before they open, but even though the time is killed, the price isn't. We add this to the list, and at some point we should trade just about 100 handles under where we closed today. That doesn't mean it happens tomorrow. We have a new optional target from today's pattern, 6713.92. Optional targets don't have to print, but the 1 year I checked it with a computer, this will print tomorrow 95% of the time. It's not 100, but 95% is not bad. So just a reminder of what we said. We had an irregular pattern. Don't forget, we didn't close near the high. Not only didn't we close near the high, we gapped up, hit higher highs. This close is under all these highs, even under this one. That means in the pattern, which normally closes near the high of the day, for hours we went nowhere. We couldn't even maintain this high. Now again, time doesn't run out until tomorrow's open. We open up here, all is forgiven. But for right now, that's a negative pattern. I'm not saying we're not going to gap up. We certainly could. I don't know where futures are going to open. We could open way up here. But for right now, we went for hours and couldn't accomplish a thing. Tomorrow could change that. MEJT said this move up here was a false move. It already retraced. You could say this is a wall into the close. We could gap over it, but that's not going to work every time. This usually will have rallied by now, but again, time doesn't run out until tomorrow. This is a daily chart. We had bar 13 of the DeMark sequential finishing early here, but now it finished for real, not finishing early. That's bar 13, no fudging. Any higher price tomorrow will be bar 13 of the DeMark combo cell, but since the last 3 bars don't have to obey all the rules, you can count this one and say we're already there. The point is, this is a very significant price in his work. It doesn't have to drop immediately. It just tells you in an area where you're overextended. But don't forget, we have Norm Winski's timing stuff coming in too, along with the weekly and monthly DeMark cells. Also, this week historically is the weakest week of the calendar. Tuesday's pattern has a really low regardless of where we open. There's a lower optional target. Being optional, it doesn't have to print, but the 1 year in which I tested it with a computer, next day it printed 95% of the time, and if it doesn't print tomorrow, we'll forget it. And if we gap up smartly, the 95% still work, but I'm not certain I'd risk money on it. We gapped up, hit a higher high, closed under all intraday highs. In addition, we didn't close near the high of day. If that's maintained, meaning if we don't take out the high, it should lead to lower prices tomorrow regardless of where we close. Gapping and promptly overtaking the high of day does kill the pattern. Now Friday is a Caroline F28, possible change in trend date. That's a big number. The bigger the number, the more significant the move if it works. These don't all work. We'll be within the 3-day window for a change in trend date. The high F number along with the DeMark indicators tell us that if we drop, and again, we haven't started dropping yet. I think we will, but it hasn't happened yet. If we drop from here, the drop should be substantial. These are things seen at major tops when they work. They don't all work. I think we should recover from any drop we have, but the elements for correction are there. I don't think it's necessary to pick the exact top, as I've been saying. If we do drop, there should be plenty of opportunities to participate in the downside. If we do drop from here, we have targets hundreds of points lower. If we go substantially over the all-time high, I don't think these things are going to work. So there's no shame in waiting to see a reversal first. Just be aware this is pretty rarefied air here. It's the pattern with the early low. We have an optional target which will print 95% of the time. We have a lower target here which is going to print at some point. We have a wave count which says that we've completed wave 3 up, and we should start a 4th wave pretty soon. We should be in a 4th wave actually, if that's the right count. There is a lot of negative stuff here, and all we need, which we haven't seen yet, is for a drop to begin. Now, until it drops, it can always fail. There have been some other times where the elements were there, we didn't get the reversal. As far as I'm concerned, until you see a reversal start, you're kind of trying to stand in front of a freight train going higher. But if we do reverse, there should be hundreds of points on the downside, and if we do reverse, it should be pretty obvious once it starts. So it's the pattern with the early low. We have a lower target. We don't trade over here. We should trade in down. This is the time to be extra cautious, if you ask me. And that's today's call.